Hello everyone. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to Creative Stamping Designs. Hope everybody's having a really nice day. It's nice and sunny here. Like in the 60s, beautiful day. Hi Jamie. So I have a fun fold for you today that I'm starting right from scratch with it. So you can see all the cuts, and because there's a lot of cuts and folds with it. So I'm starting right from the beginning with it. Use Christmas Means More photopolymer stamp set and the Cherish the Season cling stamp set. These are the Christmas Means More. These are, I guess, sayings from different old movies, Christmas movies. So today I'm using the one, every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings, and that's from It's a Wonderful Life. So let's get started. Today's card is starting with a full sheet of shaded spruce cardstock. It's 8.5 by 11. And I was starting to do it, and then I figured it's going to be easier to show everybody. So I did score it at 4 1/4 in half. Oops, let me get my cutting blade out of the way. I don't want to accidentally cut what I'm supposed to. Hi, Harriet. Thanks for joining. All right, so I cut it on at 4, or I'm sorry, I scored it at 4 1/4 in half. Then I'm going to turn it, quarter turn, and I'm going to score it at 2 3/4. And then 8 1/4. All the measurements will be on my blog on Friday for this one. Okay, so then now I'm going to go back to where it gets a little confusing. The 2 3/4 score line. And I need to remove, I don't know if you can see on the camera. Trying to see if I can get a good angle. But I need to remove these two pieces on the cardstock. The one on the left and the one on the right. So I'm going to put it back to the 2 3/4. And I'm going to cut down just below my score line. So my score line's at 4 1/4. I'm going to cut down to 4 1/8. It makes it a little bit easier with the fold. So come right down and go just past, just to the 1/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to turn it again, and I'm going to line this edge up with the 4 1/8 inch mark. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. Hang on. Let me see where my cut line is. Okay, there it is. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to line it up with the 4 3/8 inch because I want to come down lower, because this piece needs to be removed so that this side will be able to fold in, if that makes sense. So we're going to bring it right. I'm going to bring my blade down to the 2 3/4 and just cut this panel off. It should come off nice and easy. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to go to the 8 1/4 inch score line. Hang on a minute, I got to see. Go to the 8 1/4 score line, and again I'm going to cut down to the 4 1/8. There. very hard to see on the dark paper. And then I'm going to line this one up. This side is going to get lined up with the 4 1/8 because the way I flipped the paper. I'm just going to go to the 2 3/4 inch, which is where the fold is, and just cut it to the end. And there we go. So this is, let me get my cut trimmer out of the way. This is what we're going to be left with. Okay. Hi Kim. Hi Akiko. Thanks for joining. So we're going to take the 2 sides and fold them in. So we're going to have like a gate fold on the inside, and this panel will get folded down. I want to give it a good crease. So that's your basic card base. So to open it up, have this, and this will open up like that. Okay, now we're going to decorate. I'm going to start by adhering cards, some designer series paper from 'Tis the Season. And I'm using the bells because I thought it went with the sentiment. Use some Stampin' Seal. Just go around. I'm going to adhere this to a cherry cobbler mat. There we go. And then I have another piece of the 'Tis the Season designer series paper, and this piece I'm just going to cut a banner using my triple banner punch, and I have it cut to the largest size, which is 2 inches, I believe. Yep. So this piece I think is 2 by 3.5, but I'm going to cut, slide it in. Just a tiny bit, and just cut the banner. Oops. And I'm going to adhere the banner. Actually, I'm not going to adhere the banner yet because I want to make sure with the size. I'm going to stamp my sentiment, a panel of Whisper White, and I'm just going to stamp my sentiment in Tuxedo Black. And I'm going to cut it out using the stitched shapes dies. I'm going to use the circle for it. Make sure that's good and inked up. Hi Rosie, thanks for joining. That's a good impression. And before I cut this, I'm just going to color the bells on it with my gray granite that seemed to match the best to the bells, because I was playing around with colors yesterday to see which ones would match better. Just going to put a little bit of color on them. Do just a tiny bit of shading. I did go ahead and die cut a couple things ahead of time, and I'll explain why when I get to that. I just have to cut the sentiment out, and I'm going to use the second largest die. I can get it up. And it's going to cut a tiny bit of the letters off, but not too much. It's just, I think that the stitching will go right around because I did try it on a piece of scrap paper. So I'm just going to cut this out real quick. I'll be right back. See, it just cut just tiny bit off, but not enough to mess the sentiment up. All right, so I'm going to take this now, and that's why I didn't adhere the banner yet. I want to see where this is. I want to make sure there's going to be enough room. So I'm going to put the banner right about there, and I'm just going to use a little liquid glue for that. Right about there on it. Give it a little rub. And I am going to adhere this down with some Stampin' Dimensionals because I want it to pop up. I have some sprigs and all that I'm going to, or pine boughs that I'm going to put underneath it. Hope everybody's having a good week. Thanks, Jamie. Yeah, I thought so. When I was looking through the sentiments, I had seen that one, and I thought it went great with the bells. And I'm just going to put this right about right there, right? Just eyeballing it to center it. Now, I did cut out from, oh, where's the dies? From the Sound of the Season dies. So all these, the bells. I used this bell here, but when you cut it out, the holly and berries pop out of it. And I didn't want to have to fuss with them. So what I did is I popped them out after I cut it, and then I colored them with my Shaded Spruce and Cherry Cobbler Stampin' Blends markers. And then I set them back in, and I have dimensionals holding them in place so that they don't pop out. Hi, Lori. Oh, no worries. Thanks for joining. And that was the only way I could figure to leave so that the holly and berries would stay in, was to put the dimensionals. So I have there's a whole bunch of dimensionals on the back. I should have just put a foam sheet if I would have known that. But I didn't want to color them on the bell because I was afraid I'd get ink where I didn't want it. So I popped them out, colored them, and then it's like building a puzzle, putting them back in. And the holly leaves weren't bad, but the berries, I had to chase after them a couple times. I'm just going to adhere that just underneath there, like that. And then I did go ahead and cut 3 of the larger pine boughs from the die set, and we're going to just put those on the other side. I'm just going to slip them under with I'm going to use liquid glue. I think it's safer with, I know that all. Just need a little bit right on, just on the edge. Oops. I'm just going to slide them under a little bit. Just like that. And, oh, there it is. See, I know I cut 3 of them. Slide that one under. And that's really it for the card front. It's mainly the fold. So we're going to adhere this to the front, again using Stampin' Dimensionals. If I can, I set them down and now I don't know what I did with them. Okay, well, grab another strip of them. Luckily I had extra. I have no clue what I did with them. I'll find them when I'm all done. I usually do. They can't go very far. And because the DSP is so busy, I didn't want to add any ribbon or anything like that. And plus, this card's going to cost enough to mail with all the bulk on it. This may go to somebody that I hand deliver it to. I do make some more simple and plain cards. There's just a few people I do like to send special ones to. I actually already went and I picked up stamps from the post office to make sure I have enough of my 70-cent stamps because I seem to use more of those. So I'm just gonna adhere, you know what, so that it's flat. I'm just gonna adhere this right to the card front. Like that. Give that a good rub. And then these 2 panels that fold in, I'm just going to adhere the holly and berry paper to it. All right, I'm going to use a little liquid glue to adhere those. And actually, I want to make sure. Yep, that matches. I have a habit. I like to make my if I'm using a pattern for something like this, I like to make sure they're going to match up. Oops, sorry, shook the table a little bit more than I expected. Thank you, Akiko. Thank you, Rosie. I appreciate it. Make sure that's the right way. I'm just going to adhere this one here. So yeah, that'll be, so when you open it up, got that one, that panel, and then these 2 open up. Let's do something on the inside real quick. Got glue on my fingers. All right, I'm going to stamp the sentiment from the Cherish the Season. May you cherish the wonder of the season now and throughout the year. Stamp that right in the middle, or as in the middle that I can get. I'm going to aim for straight and hope I don't have to turn the paper over. And that's pretty straight. I'm just going to adhere this, give that a second to dry. Actually, before I adhere that, I'm going to, just in case I make a mistake, I'm going to stamp the bells and color those in. This was another one of the bells from Cherish the Season. I'm just going to put those off to the side of the sentiment. Just like that. I think I'm done with my ink. I'm going to color those in. And I don't know if anybody noticed, on this bell, let me show you. Each of these bells, actually all 4 of these little pieces here insert so that you have a little bit of dimension when you glue them on. So I did all that ahead of time because that was a little piece that kept slipping out of my tweezers, so got that done ahead of time. All right, let me just give these put a little color on these. I like to use the brush end when I have a larger area. Use the brush end for larger areas, and when I have, like if I want to, I'm not sure I'm going to, but if I color inside a narrow area, the brush end works great for that. Jamie, there's not all that much color on this card either. You should be so pleased with me that I'm using very little color lately. Not little color, but minimum amount. It's kind of hard with Christmas cards, though, to use a lot of color. I mean, there are some that I do, but put the little band. I don't know what this is called around the bell, but I'll call it a band. I'm just going to give a little shading on the sides, kind of where they do the shading, and then I'll blend it in a little bit. We have our onstage coming up starting tomorrow. We were supposed to be in Salt Lake City for it, but instead everything is virtual. So it should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I would have liked to be sitting with all my team members like we have in the past. That's a lot more fun. Thanks, Harriet. All right, we're going to adhere this on another cherry cobbler mat. Keeps wanting to slip out of my fingers today. All right, I'm just going to put this on the inside of the card. And I'll decorate an envelope real quick, and we'll be done. I hope so, Kim. I was looking forward to seeing you and Jamie and Christy. Make sure that, yep. And give it a little. There. So that's the card. Just do a quick envelope. I'm going to stamp the bells on the front. While they're drying a little bit, I will adhere the DSP to the flap. Just give it a second to dry. Adhere this. I told my daughter earlier, I said, I need to run to the store. I said, I need to have lunch sitting here. I need to have any snacks, anything, because I'm going to be sitting in front of the computer for 3 days. There we go. Oh, thank you, Kim. I appreciate it. Add a quick cut. Just going to color the bells real quick. I'm just putting so you want to put something inside the envelope when you're going to use the Stampin' Blend markers on the envelope, because otherwise they'll bleed. You take a chance of them bleeding all the way through. Just color this in real quick. Pick nice, easy images to color today. You don't want to you want to try to stay away from the edges if you can, because again, it'll bleed right to the back. Just do my little band around. And I just realized I forgot to color the top there. Give a little shading. Oops, almost. That would have been a mess. I'm just coloring actually really lightly with this. Just trying to blend it a little bit. And the brush end gets right around the little bell hanger, I don't know, whatever it's called. And there we have it. Got a fun fold card. And you could put, if you want to put sentiments on here, just it makes it a little bit bulkier if you add anything else. I just like to leave it plain. You know, you could put sentiments inside more. It actually gives you room if you're sending the card to somebody that you like to write a lot to. There's plenty of room to write on it. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay. So there we have it. my fun fold card. Don't forget we have the Curvy Celebrations if anybody's interested. The Curvy Celebrations has gone live. You could purchase it. And we have a group of us put together video tutorials for the Quite Curvy and the Curvy Christmas. And if you purchase the sets from November through December, we will send you, or I will send you the video tutorial that you can watch and follow along and make the cards. All right. Thank you everybody for joining. I appreciate it. All the measurements and everything will be on most everything. I might not have the full description, but all the measurements will be on my blog on Friday, and the video will be on my Facebook page and also on my YouTube channel, so you can cut everything and stamp along while you're watching. Thank you for joining. I'll see everybody next Wednesday. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.